The Mummy, the very first entry, if you don't include that weird Dracula Untold movie. It's the first entry in Universal Studios' Dark Universe franchise, and it follows a U.S. Army soldier by the name of Nick Morton as he unearths an ancient tomb, unleashing an ancient evil curse, as well as an undead Egyptian princess by the name of Amenet. Hello, and welcome to Exploring Cinema. Let's get on to the review. So, I watched this film very late compared to most other people because I didn't see any reason to even want to try to see it, especially because I've already wasted a lot of money on a bunch of other stinkers that came out this year. So I just waited until this film came into a very small theater with a dirt cheap price, and I'm actually glad that I did. Tom Cruise plays Sergeant Nick Morton, a U.S. Army soldier who sees himself as kind of a liberator of antiques and treasures, but really, let's be honest, he's just a thief. There's not really much to him. He's not a very likable guy, so there's not much positive I could say about the character itself. Now, I actually liked Tom Cruise. I like him in a lot of other movies. I've seen good and even bordering on great performances in films like Born on the 4th of July and the last two Mission Impossible movies. So I was looking forward to any film that he was in, and him in this role automatically tells you that he's going to be doing all of his own stunts. So great news there. Yeah. However, as much as I do like him, I don't think Tom Cruise added anything to the role, and that's not his fault. The character's just a bit underwritten and completely uninteresting. So I could tell that he was doing the best with what he was given. We also have Annabelle Wallis playing Jennifer Halsey, an archaeologist who is searching for Amenet's tomb. She's very feisty, intelligent, and stubborn. Her and Nick have history that is so cookie-cutter that I could just tell you right now, because it's way too cliche. They know each other because they were lovers at one point. That's literally their only connection. As for Wallis herself, she added absolutely nothing to the role, or even the story, and not even that, her character was so absolutely useless. I honestly believe that Wallis gave one of the worst performances that I've seen this year. Now, as these two are the main characters, it would be a little too cliche for them to be romantic interests, wouldn't it? So you know that they were written that way. I was not given any reason to believe in the romance in any way, and it just felt shoehorned in. Every time they were on screen together, I honestly wanted to fast forward through all the scenes, and it didn't help that every time Wallis started talking, I wanted to scream at the screen, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up." Russell Crowe is also in this film, in a role that I will not specify. The name of his character unto itself is a spoiler, and I don't want to give it away for anybody who, for some reason, still wants to see this movie. Now, Crowe actually doesn't give a bad performance in this film. I mean, he's an Oscar winner. He brings a certain level of gravitas to any film that he gets in. However, he's extremely underutilized both as an actor and a character in the film. Not to mention that the character that he is playing is used almost exclusively as an expositional character. And if you think the uselessness of Wallis's character was too much, we have Jake Johnson playing Corporal Chris Vale, who is Nick's best friend. He's sort of the comic relief in this film, and I don't even want to call him comic relief because he's not even funny. He did a terrible job in this film. I'll admit, Johnson gave a very mediocre but decent performance. But Vale is just a bad character, more annoying than funny. He was just another character that just popped up out of nowhere, just randomly, and every time he was on screen I absolutely hated him. Another person that I wanted to fast forward through. And of course, we get on to the villain. Sofia Boutella plays Amenet, who is an ancient Egyptian princess who makes a deal with the gods for power, but then she's imprisoned, imprisoned and buried alive before she can carry out her objective. Why can I not speak today? Now, her character, I actually feel, was utilized correctly, as in not too little, not too much, as well as being written fairly well. I was actually kind of impressed with that one. They actually knew which part that they should probably focus on, even though it should have technically been Nick's character, but that's beside the point. I've been watching Botella ever since I saw her in the first Kingsman film, and I've enjoyed every single role of hers so far, and this is no exception. I actually think that she was the best part in the film. Unlike the Brendan Fraser films, which took place anywhere between like 1910 and sometime in the late 1940s, this film is a more modern-day take on the Mummy story, and actually, yeah, that's it. That's the only unique part about it. It doesn't help or hurt the story that it's in our time period. The film is filled throughout with expositional dialogue, and it got extremely annoying, especially since Russell Crowe's character starts off the film with about a 10-minute expositional narration. Now, the story does have some slightly unique and even interesting ideas, but they suffer due to either the execution, or they're just glanced over by other plot points, or both. The visual in this film, the visuals in this film aren't bad. There are, however, some sections where the effects look completely unfinished, but for the most part they're done very well. It's just not to the level of, say, a Disney film, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars. Hell, even a 20th Century Fox film looks better than this. The score is composed by Brian Tyler, and normally I actually do enjoy his compositions. I don't think he's the next Jerry Goldsmith or anything, but he has given some really good scores in the past. That being said, the music for this film goes into full blockbuster mode for this film, and that's not necessarily a good thing, even if it is just a popcorn movie or blockbuster. It's got some great standalone parts, but the music actually did kind of bore me throughout the film. To recap, this reboot of the Mummy franchise dwarfs in comparison to the Brendan Fraser trilogy, namely the first two. This one has underwritten characters, mediocre to bad performances, way too much exposition and a story that didn't even seem to be trying to excite me in the first place, and just a disappointment of a score. This film has actually lessened my excitement for the Dark Universe. The one reason why I am still excited is because Creature of the Black Lagoon is one of my favorite movie characters of all time, especially when it comes to horror, and they did confirm a while ago that there is actually a reboot in the process. Other than that, that's it. I'm gonna give this really mediocre excuse for a film a 2 out of 5 reels. Thank you for watching and listening to me ramble on and on. So, what did you guys think of 2017's The Mummy? Did you love it? Hate it? Haven't seen it yet? You're indifferent? What were its strengths? What were its weaknesses? Leave your opinions in the comment section below because I want to know your thoughts. I welcome new perspectives. Be sure to subscribe if you have not already for more reviews and content. There is always more to come. And for other ways to help support the channel, please check out in the description down below. Thank you once again, and farewell until the next video. Bye.